Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Tory Lanez. Well, it looks like Tory Lanez then got sort of locked up, man. Now, Tory Lanez has had a lot going on. Let's be real, man. A lot of rumors about previous altercations with different people, but it looks like it might have all caught up to him at one time, and a judge has placed him on house arrest. Now, there's a story from the CBS News that I want to talk about that goes into details of why the judge came with this decision today in court for Tory Lanez, man. Now, this is a big deal because this is going to put a stop to some of his money, him doing appearances, him pretty much partying, because if you look at his lifestyle and how he's doing, he seemed to be doing all right with a dude with a case over his head, you know what I mean? And I'm not condoning what he's being accused of. I'm just saying he's definitely doing his thing in the rap game independently, right? Now, before we get to the story, though, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this headline in the CBS News story talking about what went down with Tory Lanez getting put on house arrest. Now, the headline says this. It says, rapper Tory Lanez ordered to house arrest, electronic monitoring for allegedly shooting at Megan Thee Stallion's feet. Now, this is more complicated than that headline, puts on, because he was already out on bond from the situation with Megan Thee Stallion, right? But it seems like a series of events have led a judge to believe that, Tory Lanez needs to sit down somewhere. That's basically what he's trying to say here. Now, the story starts off by saying a judge Wednesday ordered rapper Tory Lanez to be placed on electronic monitoring and house arrest by Friday while he awaits trial on charges that he allegedly shot a fellow rapper Megan Thee Stallion's feet in the Hollywood Hills. Now, this is one of the biggest trials going on in hip hop, and a lot of people have been kind of putting it to the back burner because there hasn't been many updates. Let's be real. There hasn't been many things said about this, and when it happens, it happens. That's pretty much what I'm getting from the pulse of the hip hop community. We'll get all the details when it comes to court for real. You know what I mean? Now, the story also goes on to say this. It says, Superior Court Judge David Hereford rejected the prosecution's motion seeking to have the 30-year-old musician to be taken into custody without bail as a result of an alleged attack on a man in Chicago last month. Now, if we go back to September, the biggest story that came out of September involving Tory Lanez was an alleged incident involving him and August Alsina, where he was alleged to have punched August Alsina over the Jada Pinkett Smith drama. So it was a wild situation that went down. August Alsina went to social media where he posed for pictures that seemed to show bruises on his face. It looked like his face was bruised up and looked like he definitely got punched. And a lot of people were saying that he got sucker punched by Tory Lanez, including, people close to both entertainers, right? Now, what's crazy is this somehow got lumped into this Megan Thee Stallion situation. It goes to show that, man, just because you're out on bond doesn't mean you have free reign to live about like everybody else. Like, nobody has free reign to punch somebody else. So let's keep that funky, right? But in order for you to be already out on bond, man, you probably should be trying to be on your best behavior. But it seems like that's not the case when it comes to Tory Lanez, at least in this judge's eyes, and at least in the eyes of the prosecution. Because according to the story, they were pushing to have him sit down in jail until the trial. Similar to what's going on with Young Thug and those guys with no bond. Now, house arrest, is it bad? Yes. He doesn't get to do any shows or anything like that. But hey, that's a better deal than having to sit in jail through the duration of the trial, or even sitting in jail before the trial begins, when he now has the opportunity, at least if he has a studio in his crib, make some more music. And, I'm pretty sure he can have friends and people over or whatnot, man. But, it's still going to put a damper on some of his money. That's for real. But this puts him in a more controlled situation. And here's how the judge got to that decision. Now, the judge noted that the prosecutors had argued in their motion that the defendant, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, poses a danger to society and has a pattern of defying court orders, while noting that the defense's response counters that there was insufficient evidence that a battery had even occurred. So basically saying that they had insufficient evidence that an assault or a battery had even occurred. They have the voice, they have what they see on social media. They have the voices on social media talking about it. It doesn't seem like August Alsina came forward to say anything against Tory Lanez in this situation. So for whatever that's worth. Now, that might change in the future. More details might come out. But based on what that says, it seems like, they have loose information. But just in case, the judge is saying, put him in a house arrest situation with electric monitoring. Now, the deputy district attorney, Alexander Bott, urged the judge to order the rapper into custody without bail while awaiting trial on one count each of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, along with allegations that he personally used the firearm and inflicted great bodily injury. His trial is tentatively set to begin on November 28th. So let's remember that date, right? Now, the prosecutor said that Lanez had shown such a flagrant disregard for the court's orders, telling the judge that the defendant had previously violated court orders not to come within 100 yards of Megan Thee Stallion and posted messages on social media that appeared to be directed at her. Now, remember, there was a whole big ordeal around Rolling Loud and what happened. Because he went to Rolling Loud, it was supposed to be set up that she was there and he was there, not at the same time. The baby brought him out, I believe, and then he ended up going back to court because of that, because they said he violated a court order in that situation. He was given an opportunity because of the way it was set up, and I think, he had a good explanation as to how that happened, Also, there was a situation involving social media where he was called into court, and I believe he had to pay bond or a fine, or his bond was increased or something of that nature, and he also had, to go back in court for that. So, yes, there's been several situations since the initial arrest where he has been back in court, right? Now, Bott told the judge that the defendant allegedly punched a man without warning and knocked him to the ground on September 17th in Chicago. Now, obviously, they're talking about the August Alsina situation, but they didn't name him in this story, I believe. Now, the rapper's attorney, Sean Hawley, countered that the incident in Chicago involves mere allegations, adding that these allegations are disputed. She noted that no case has been filed there. So nobody even filed a case against Tory Lanez in this situation, man. Now, it goes on also to talk about that the judge ordered the rapper to be placed on electronic monitoring and house arrest between Friday and the next court date, man. Now, although they don't mention August Alsina by name, that seems to be the incident that they used to bring Tory Lanez back to court and at least get him on house arrest, as far as the prosecution is concerned. This is a win for them, man. Even though they wanted him to be in jail with no bond, they probably felt like they still got to win with this situation. But Tory Lanez, he can't feel that bad because at least he's going to have to be on house arrest as opposed to in jail. Now, what do you guys think about this, man? I mean, at the end of the day, Tory Lanez has to turn himself in based on what that judge said by Friday in order to be on house arrest and in order for them to put the electric monitoring on his leg, man. So he has no way up out of it. You see what I'm saying? So do y'all think that this is going to have any bearing on how he's performing in the music game? Because he's had some recent success in the music game. Let's be honest. He's had a couple of projects that people have really been feeling. But do you think rumors of the August Alsina altercation was just too much for the judge, man, and he had to actually put the clamps on him in some sort of way, even though they say there's nobody who's come forward to say that this actually happened? Y'all tell me what you think in the comment section. This been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this out content. And we out of here. Peace.